The Northwest officially has a new man in charge. The ANC believes Premier Job Mokgoro is the right man for the province's top job. His appointment comes after weeks of violent protests against predecessor Supra Mahumapelo. Well, eNCA reporter Aldrin Sampear spoke to the former premier, who says many allegations against him were simply not true.
So yes, the day has finally arrived, and the hours and the minutes where the Northwest has a new premier, and that premier has been sworn in and has taken an oath of office to uphold, obey and respect the Constitution and all the laws of this country. But someone who had taken a similar oath back in 2014 is Supra Mahumapelo, who now joins us here. And of course, as we know, that he has stepped down as the premier in the province. Premier, let's first start with, messages of congratulations to the person who takes over from you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and the viewers of eNCA. It's our responsibility as leaders of the ANC, as members of the ANC, to make sure that we congratulate those who succeed us, like we have done when I came in 2014. We wish Professor Mokgoro everything of the good. We are going to be working well with him as the African National Congress. We have been working with Prof. Mokgoro for some time now, many years, even before we got into government. So I don't foresee any difficulties really in us working with him. He was working with me when I was the premier. He was the acting director general to help us with the transition in 2014. From there, we then deployed him to become the head of eNCA School of Governance, which he has been responsible for until his redeployment now.
And while he was delivering his first speech or his first address to the chambers or the members in the chamber, and you were sitting in the public gallery, he also took a note of the decision that you had taken to step down. But it almost seemed as though that he was downplaying it, because it wasn't such an easy decision, I believe, for you to take.
Look, the positions we occupy belong to the African National Congress. We are deployed by the ANC. We serve at the behest of the African National Congress. It doesn't matter whether you serve for a month or 3 years or a week. When the ANC says that there are some challenges that we face and we wouldn't want to take action against you, we discuss together, because there would be no basis to take action. So we discuss and we show each other reasons, and we arrive at a decision. So other than having resigned as the premier with what I referred to as the necessity to create the presence of absence when I started, I also thought on Monday, and I told the SG, that there might be difficulties because Prof. Mokgoro comes from the outside. There might be difficulties of having a vacancy where he'll be coming in. And I don't think we should be going to the other members of the legislature. When I'm there as the leader, as the provincial chair, I should lead by example. And I took a conscious decision to resign on my own. People were advising me and saying, no, you are going to lose 1.4 million of pension and so on if you exit now. It's not about money. It's about the ANC coming first and the people of the province. And it's not about me. It's about the revolution. It's about the people. It's about the ANC. And my interest comes second.
But the process leading up to this moment has been difficult. There have been violent protests in this province, and years ago there was a push even from alliance partners back then to have Supra Mahumapelo recalled as the premier in the province, and that didn't happen, and eventually you have caved in. But you also caved in having made an assertion that you are not guilty of anything.
Look, I took a decision that there are some individuals who have concocted and spread information in order to tarnish my image. And there was no way I would not attend to those particular issues. It was not going to be good for me to attend to those particular issues concocted by those particular individuals, and I continue to be a premier. It was going to be unfair, because whether I like it or not, I would have been accused of abusing the office to get at people, to resolve personal matters and so on. So I thought, for the sake of the office, the sacredness of the office, the oath of office, which I undertook when I came in as a premier, it will be unfair to continue to be in the position when I will be attending legally to people who have concocted issues around me. But one day the truth will come out, because I've got all the information where all the plans started, who was in the plan, who raised the money, how much money was raised, how people were paid for blockading the roads and torching people's houses and buildings, and so on.
Is this during the recent protest?
Yeah, during the recent protest. I mean, we've got all the information. But we can't go out with that information because it's quite bad information. It has to be managed properly for the sake of our organization, the African National Congress. So I don't want to rush. I will be attending to those issues patiently at my own pace, without the burden of having been a premier.
This also then brings to light another discussion, and I believe that I tried to speak to you about it, and you obviously spoke about the issue around the investigation, that there was an attempt on your life. I don't know if you've seen a City Press report where the Hawks had then said that they believe that this allegation is fake.
Somebody has been found guilty and has been given five years for attempting to take my life. That person is on appeal now. There's another one who was given in February, suspended 3 years for the same thing. The third one, who followed me to Pretoria in St. George's, was also found guilty and got a fine. That one I'm still dealing with. So there has been many things against me. Now, this one's, which are said to be coming from some two people who came here and are said to be some assassins paid 250,000, it's not me who opened the case. It is somebody in the office of the Premier Security who did the analysis, did the investigation, and thought it prudent to go and open the case. So if the police say there's no substance in the case, that's okay. Mm-hmm. It is the rule of law. And I just wish that those chapters can be closed, and then we are able to move forward with reconciliation, healing, and renewal of the province.
How then do you foster reconciliation and healing of the province when you say that you will be going after those who had concocted things against you, including paying off members of the public? This is now according to your own allegation, to blockade roads.
Look, that information, I will approach them with the information, those particular people, working with my lawyers. And if they are prepared for us to sit down and say, look, we tried something here in order to push a particular agenda, because I certainly, without any hesitation, can confirm that it was a political agenda, and it continues to be a political agenda. If comrades can say, we think we were wrong, no matter how hating it is. Remember, they said many things about my wife, about my kids, and so on, and they know those things were concocted and so on. So if they come forward and they say, look, let's sit down and talk, I'm prepared to sit down and say, as long as you admit that you were wrong and we can inform the public, that's okay. I don't think I must settle personal scores. We are here to provide leadership to the revolution, and then we can move on.
But some of these allegations are true, like, for instance, the one that your son received a bursary from Denel, and the allegations being that bursary was awarded irregularly, that you have used your political power to secure him that bursary?
Well, I'm still waiting for evidence to the effect that I used my political power. I mean, today's kids, they have access to internet, and so my son simply approached me and said he has done his research, he thinks he wants to go into aviation, he has done everything. So I must support him as my son, and I can't be spoon-feeding him. He must be independent, be able to do his own research and so on. So if he got assistance through his own research and so on, that's okay. I took a decision with the family that if the board and the minister of Denel can come to the conclusion that it was irregular it was wrong and we must pay, we will do so because we want our son to complete studies without any hindrance. It's not a big issue for us, but he's entitled like any other child to all the rights that other kids have in South Africa. It can't be because he's a son of a premier, he must be treated differently. But where wrong has been done, let's attend to the wrong. There's no problem with it. But if people, you can go around here in Mahikeng, for instance, people in the concoctions, they say, own Megacity, the shopping complex next door. It can be true. If people say, I own 3 hotels here in Mahikeng, I don't even have a hotel. People say that I own petrol station. I don't even have 1 gallon of petrol in my possession. People say I own restaurants. For instance, they say McDonald's is my restaurant. It's not my restaurant. It belongs to my wife. And you know what is the problem with this thing of saying, because my wife has a McDonald's restaurant and therefore it's mine? It's actually patriarchy. Embedded in that concoction, it's patriarchy, because what people are saying is that my wife can't engage independently in business.